Jay Thompson, he just can't, I mean, I know he retired, but he just cannot get away from real estate. This is an opinion piece on Inman. Stop letting strangers into your listings. He is calling an end to open houses. Do you want me to frame it up here with what happened first? All right, I'll frame it up.
Go for it. Do it.
There was a recent attack. Our, all of our good wishes and thoughts and prayers and everything goes out to this agent, Keller Williams agent, Lenora Farrington, Virginia.
Yep.
This happened like a week or two ago, and I'm sure most people in the industry know about this now. Another, issue. Jay in his article alludes to this happening all the time. It happens way more. Once is too many. It happens way more than it should. It doesn't happen like every weekend or anything like that.
Not that we hear about.
He kind of makes it sound like it happens every single weekend. A real estate agent has been viciously attacked while holding an open house again. Last I heard, Keller Williams agent Lenora Farrington is in stable condition in a Virginia hospital ICU. She was at an open house. This career criminal, Dustin Holdren of Roanoke, somewhere in Virginia, allegedly beat her in the head with a blunt object repeatedly. According to a friend, this was a crescent wrench. She was hit in the head over 10 times at this open house. He's been arrested. She's obviously ICU, like we mentioned, permanent and significant damage. I know the real estate professionals in that market have already raised a bunch of money for her, so that was nice of them. But Jay says he's beyond sick and tired of reading and writing about agents getting assaulted, raped, and murdered while holding open houses. We've talked about, some self-defense stuff, talked about, having an awareness level, having a communication with agents on your team or in your office so that if you do get into one of these situations, you actually have a way to hopefully alert somebody.
Right.
All of that being said, and this situation is just grotesque, obviously.
Right.
All of that being said, should agents consider canceling doing open houses in the future?
So I do not believe in canceling open houses. I mean, I think that we've all learned how to do open houses currently in a different fashion. We're doing a lot of virtual open houses, which I think is great. It's certainly an alternative if you don't feel safe, but I don't think that they need to be canceled. I guess I feel like this is no different than if I were to be standing in a retail building, right? Where I'm waiting
No, it's far different than a retail building. Yeah, because you're one person in a home. It's been advertised that you're going to be the agent there. Yeah. So people have a week head up that, okay, boom, here's your headshot, Nicole White,
I guess
sitting in this house alone by yourself. It's to me, it's totally different.
Okay. But I guess you could also argue though, like if someone's been walking past this store and they know, probably like the most infrequent times of people being there.
And you're thinking about a small shop where there's one person working there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in...
But it's much more... The shop or the retail is a much more public environment where somebody could walk by the sidewalk, see what's going on in there. So like you're saying, I mean, I do think that there should be some precautions taken. Maybe you're actually bringing your own camera then at that point. Maybe you're bringing your own Nest camera to sort of videotape as well. I mean, that would actually sort of be a decent... Like a body cam?
Something.
That would be obviously...
And then you can like disclose it, like as people are coming in, like I have a body camera on just for my own safety.
Might be
and then that could actually potentially scare people away.
That might be a better precaution I've heard than anything. Just having a sign right next to the open house sign as they're entering the door. Everything is being recorded. That way it stops people from thinking about stealing.
Right.
Potentially stops them.
Yeah.
Maybe, attacking, the person that's there.
Well, you have to disclose it because, I mean, I feel like more and more homes have video cameras to begin with already, and you have to disclose it.
That is probably the best precautionary measure.
You're going to wear a body cam?
No, not the body cam. Just having the sign. I wouldn't even put up the camera. I'm just saying, just have the sign.
Oh, so you're going to be one of those people that have you have like a sign out front of your house that says you have a security system?
Beware of the dog. I have like a cat back there.
I don't know that you'd be able to eliminate the harm no matter where you are. I mean, obviously this guy is sick. What's his name? Dustin. Yeah. I mean, I think he was going to probably beat up another individual it sounds like he's a career criminal to begin with.
And Jay's point, he makes a good one. We only talk about this. I'm as guilty as anyone. We only talk about these issues in the real estate community when they happen. A couple weeks later, you just go back to doing open houses, doing private showings, all of that. All right, couple things I want to kind of throw into the mix.
Yeah, so
here.
do you want to cancel the open? I like open houses.
Well, let me give you my opinion.
I mean, I feel like it's great for business. I think it's great for the seller. I think it's a great way to get buyers out there looking at homes too.
Well,
you know?
Yeah, I mean, the stats show that it's not that great of a thing for sellers. And so Jay, you did a great job on this piece. Read through it if you haven't. It's an Inman piece. We're going to link it up. Really well done.
I know that you don't like open houses to begin with. So can you imagine if they were just like scraped from the list?
I don't enjoy doing them for sure, but I'm also going to just be very truthful here. Open houses don't work for sellers. They really never have. Okay? They really never have. They've worked for agents to collect more buyer leads, and they've worked for us in a way.
But what about like developments, like a sales office type situation?
Well, we'll get into that here before we end the segment, but they also work in a way for us to market the property differently, and if we know somebody's interested, to apply pressure. But overall, you're not finding your home at an open house. I mean, how often does it happen? Rarely. In 2001, 15% of buyers found a home.
Unless an open house is the first time it's being offered to the public. Okay. That's happening.
Right. But not a lot. In 2001, 15% of buyers found a home via a yard sign and open houses, okay? While in 2001, 8% found their home on the internet. Okay, so that's 2001.
Right.
Now let's go to today. What's happening today? Because that's going to give us a better picture of if these open houses have continued to work. Well, last year, 2019, the yard sign and open house combined dropped to 6%.
Okay.
Oftentimes we hear open houses is like 1 to 2%.
Right.
And the internet exploded to 52%.
Of course.
Something about always virtually open works, and it works quite well. That's Jay's quote there. You can do a virtual open house all the time. Now, I know what you're going to say. People want to get in the house. They want to, we've talked about this. They want to feel it. They want to touch it. They want to see it. People that come to open houses many times are seeking information. They're either a seller, testing agent, or looking at inventory, or they're killing time. Anybody that's a last minute, a lot of people that show up last minute to open houses, they saw a sign, it's a beautiful day, let's pop in there, place looks beautiful, right? New development happens all the time. You also see last minute people request showings. Right. I was at a property last weekend showing it to somebody who had a scheduled appointment. My phone rings through Zillow, like a Zillow Direct. Pick it up, and it's this lady wants to come see the same property, and she lives in town. I'm like, oh, well, I'm here. I mean, just come over, right?
Right.
And I knew it. I knew when I spoke to her on the phone, this was phony baloney land. Okay. I knew she was wasting my time.
Right.
She gets to the property. She's got a gazillion questions.
And is she beating you up over price the whole time?
Oh, she's beating me up over everything. She's beating me up over everything. I said, we have multiple offers right now. I don't really care. You get back in your car and leave. Asked a million questions, started emailing her, sent her so much information, millions of questions, text messages. And then all of a sudden that night, she sends me one final text. I don't think this is right for me. I'm out. Total time waster. Okay, these people that set up last minute showings, last minute, gotta be there, gotta do this, running over to the open house. They're not people that have a plan to buy. They change their mind on a dime. They're gonna change their mind 2 hours later. And so to Jay's point, do open houses really work? Well, the stats show us, and these stats are according to, I believe they're according to National Association. According to National Association of Realtors, 2019 profile of home buyers and sellers. So the stats tell us they don't really work for sellers. Our experiences, or my experiences of people showing up last minute, don't really work. But here's the problem, Jay. Somebody who's a sicko like this guy, Dustin, could just set up a private showing. There's a couple ways you can stop the open house thing. To your point, video, disclose. This is going to be videoed. We're watching you. The other thing is having two people. I'm always a big supporter of two people at an open house.
Right.
Just for the safety of the homeowner's goods, never, let alone our own safety.
Right.
This doesn't stop the private showing. Now, Jay's going to say, well, you should have these people's information. You should really have these things vetted out. Well, if you're working in a Zillow Flex world right now, you're giving them one freebie. You're going out and giving these people a freebie, so you don't know really. Zillow's got an email and a phone number, and that's it.
Right.
And maybe it's a fake.
And sometimes not even their first name.
Right.
Yeah.
So, the private showing still opens up, because listen, all agents pretty faces or online. You can figure out very quickly who you want to target if you're one of these crazy people. And I'd still be worried about the private showings. You know, canceling open houses does not eliminate all of this bad stuff that's happening. But to Jay's point, it would reduce the chances of having a free-for-all opportunity to go and do some of this stuff. And I do believe,
essentially,
you know, I do believe open houses are going, you'll see less and less and less of them. You know, we saw the numbers from 2001 to 2019.
Well, I think especially now with everybody so concerned with the pandemic, I mean, who's going to really want, you know, I think everyone is now so like germaphobe where, yeah, I'm sure that they'll be drastically reduced, more so for sellers not wanting people in their homes.
And we've become accustomed to doing things virtually. I think that trend's going to just continue to accelerate. Do I think we should completely 100% call an end to open houses? No, I don't. But I do think we should, as agents and brokerage community, we should be more strategic. We should do open houses when it's an event, when there's going to be multiple agents there. You know, and that being said, we won't do that. We'll have an open house this weekend and, you know, there'll be one person sitting there. And new construction, you know, developers believe you got to be open all the time. You and I disagree with that to some degree because
there's no sense of urgency.
There's no sense of urgency. You're not getting realistic people. You're getting a lot of people that waste time. You know, we've seen that. But it does go both ways, and it's a tough, especially for people who have built their businesses on open houses. I know Jill Biggs, shout out to Jill, #1 team in Hoboken, because it's such a small little tight neighborhood. People can go, if they're a real active buyer, open houses work really well in that neighborhood.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and
they can see them all. They can walk to them.
And I think it works really well, though, too, for agents. Like if I'm working with another buyer and my buyer wants to see a house, but I'm booked, like go to the open house, take it in at an open house instead of me, you know, not being available to show you the house during that time.
But Jay, really well done covering this. Great conversation for all of us to be having. I agree with you. Let's not forget about these issues. Let's continue to talk about them and raise the awareness of agent safety overall in our industry.